Hi everyone, it's Tamara here using the gorgeous image from La La Land Crafts Beautiful Life Marci Digi stamp for this card making tutorial. I'll be doing some Copic colouring of Marci and then the card making tutorial. So let's get started with some colouring. I'll be making a frame with the inverted scallop rectangle dies. So I've just got a piece of cardstock and I'll have all the measurements below for both this and also for our ink blended panel. So with this one, this is what the frame will sit on, and I'll just be blending out using the Distress Oxides mustard seed and squeeze lemonade. So I've got the mustard seed down the bottom, and then I'm just going to work the squeeze lemonade up so that it just blends out into the white. So just work softly as you get to the top. For the grass panel that I'll have Marci standing on, I'll just be using Twisted Citron and Mowed Lawn just to give that a little bit of colour. So I've just started with the Twisted Citron and then just going to work a small amount of the Mowed Lawn on the bottom just to give it a little bit of dimension, and we'll just set aside those two panels to dry. I'll also be using the garden trellis die to cut out a trellis for the top of my card. So I just want to show you how beautifully this trellis cuts. So just run that through the die cutting machine. We'll pull that out, and it just makes a beautiful trellis for the corner. So we'll get that attached to our background now that that's dry. So I'm just putting some small dots of glue on all the panels, and then we'll get that attached up onto the top right hand side. So that will kind of just sit behind that frame with the inverted rectangles. So we'll get that secured down, and then we'll get that frame ready to attach to the top once we get our grass die cut out. So I'm just lining that up, working out I don't need the parts where the mushrooms are, so we'll give that a trim down so that it fits on the bottom of the card. So we'll pop some glue on the back of our grass, and we'll just get that attached to the bottom of our panel. And we'll also grab out the frame and just make sure that that's going to be showing underneath once the frame goes on. So it's Marci sitting a little bit low, so I'm just going to scoot that grass up a little bit so that it's more noticeable at the bottom. And we'll try that frame again, and yeah, that shows a lot better, so I'm happy with that. And we'll just make sure that's nicely pressed down, and then we just want to trim off those ends that are just sticking out on either side of that background panel. So just grab my scissors and just give both of those just a quick trim off, and also a little bit of the garden trellis. Wanting to have some flowers sitting on my garden trellis, so I've actually grabbed the flower portions of the flower wreath die set and just cut out the actual flower sections of that die, and I'm going to be colouring out with some Copic markers just to give these flowers a little bit of dimension. I've sped this up and I have included the colours on screen, but I'll also have them in the description box below for you as well. So I'm just colouring the insides. We'll finish off with the leaves, just giving it kind of a darker at the bottom, blending out to the light. So before attaching our flowers, I thought it's best to get the frame attached to the background panel, and that way we'll know where we can actually put our flowers, and that that frame isn't going to get in the way once it's put down. So I always find it easier to put some glue on the actual background panel itself rather than the frame, and that way you know that it will sit on the frame somewhere and you're not going to be missing that base, because I normally always do that a little bit smaller than the actual frame itself. So just making sure that that's secured down. Now flip that over and just make sure that that's straight and give that a good press down. Now I've pre-cut some yellow and white floral pattern paper from the Color Me Happy pack, and I've just attached some 3D foam to the back of my background panel with my frame, and I'm just going to attach that on top of that cardstock. I've roughly set out where I want my flowers and leaves to be, so I'm finding it's easier to attach the leaf first and then we can pop the flower on the top of that. So just using my reverse tweezers, it just helps when you're working kind of with fiddly flowers or fiddly items. So put a little bit of glue in the middle and get that middle part stuck down. And I'll just quickly go through the other two flowers, popping them in place, doing the same thing. Just put small amounts of glue on so it doesn't go anywhere that you don't want it. And then when you're putting the internal part, I find it's easier to put the glue inside where that part's going to sit. So just making sure I was putting that in the right spot. We'll get that stuck down and pop our final flower down. So we've got that secured, pop the glue in the middle and pop our final little insert in. I've pre-cut and scored a white card base measuring 4 1/4 by 9 3/4, side folding, and I've put glue on my background panel, quickly turned it around as I did have it upside down. I'm just going to line that up in the middle so that you've got that nice white border around the outside of your pattern paper. Make sure that's all lined up before giving that a good press down. And we'll just allow that time to dry before we add all our images and our sentiment. I've stamped out the sentiment that comes with Beautiful Life Marci in the Digi form, and I'm just going to use the Scalloped rectangle sentiments dies to die cut that out. I've attached some 3D foam to the back of the sentiment and taken off the release paper, and we'll just get that lined up with the right hand side of that frame. And I've also popped Marci up with some foam tape. We'll just take that release paper off and we'll get her attached to the front of the card, just standing on that grass like she's taking a stroll in Kyoto when it's cherry blossom season. So this is the finished card project for today. Beautiful Life Marci is so gorgeous, and I can't wait to colour her up again and see what other colour choices I could do for her outfit. I think the colour choices could be endless. I had so much fun making this card and I love how it turned out. Make sure if you'd like to see any future videos to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye for now.